All right, Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with Coach Steve, one of the amateur coaches at No Excuse. We just wrapped up the Lamont Roach Jr. media workout. I just got to ask, man, how do you see Lamont Roach looking moving to 140?
Man, everyone doubting him moving up at 140, but I feel like he filled in just the way he should have. With his physical trainer, with the coaches behind him, just the whole No Excuse team that did an amazing job at getting him strong enough and fit enough where he's just walking around healthy and strong. Even shaking his hand, you can feel the strength into him. So I think they did an amazing job getting him at 140, and I'm excited to see how impactful and powerful he gonna look in the ring against Pitbull Cruz.
I know that a lot of people expect this fight to be fireworks, right? Pitbull style, come for a lot of action. And we know that Lamont can fight on the back foot, but we also know he can mix it up inside. So is this one of those type of fights where you see the tickets moving really well, and on top of it, it's a pay-per-view fight? So do you think this is going to be one of those type of fight of year contentions, or a performance that many people look back and say that Lamont Roach Jr. dominated pretty easy?
I feel like Lamont, with all the coaching and all the team behind him again, I feel like he's so versatile that whatever way he chooses to go with this fight will be dominant, and he gonna be able to fight forward dominant or on his back foot. So it's gonna be a dominant performance. But I do have to give Cruz, his credit, because he ain't where he at, for no reason. So I think it's gonna be a highly anticipated, impactful fight. But I got Lamont Roach dominating this fight.
A lot of people are predicting not just Lamont wins, but he'll be able to stop what seems to be the unstoppable force of Pitbull. We've seen him, take punches from Tank. We've seen him take punches from, Rayo Venezuela. We've seen him take punches from Rolly Romero, all these big punchers. So if Lamont Roach Jr., who many people looked at his boxer and say, he don't really seem like a puncher. I mean, is that something where people can comfortably bet with their friends and say, I think Lamont Roach Jr. can get him out of there?
I feel like they can confidently bet on that because, being as though they're not in the gym, I know the behind the scenes. I seen him in his sparring. I seen him in his strength and conditioning. I've been in the gym with Lamont for years. So the world hasn't seen it yet, but I feel like on Saturday night, December 6th, is going to be the night that they're going to be able to see it.
When a performance like that, being able to stop somebody like Pitbull or even dominate and make it look so easy, I mean, that automatically sets up for fans to look at maybe a fight between the winner of Shakur and Tio, or even if Tank decides, obviously the rematch that everyone's warranted, but there's so many opportunities. He's talked about Gary Antoine Russell, or even going back down to 135, and there's some young talented guys who walked in here before, like an Abdullah Mason, and then made their mark. So at that point, where do you see Lamont Roach going? Not looking past Pitbull, but just what type of opportunities comes from a win like this?
I feel like the sky is not the limit. I feel like he can go wherever. He always could go wherever he wanted to go with the sport. As a champion, he always been a champion at heart. Coach Boogaloo put it in his heart and his mind. And rest in peace, Coach. But he can take this as far as he want to take it. I like the fight with Tio. I like the fight with Shakur. Antoine Russell. That'll be a very great fight as well, coming back to the city. That'll definitely sell out major tickets, and we'll come out with that belt for sure.
What is the X factor that Lamont brings? I mean, not giving away like any specific details or game plans for you, I mean, have you held pads for Lamont, and have you like felt like his power? Like, what is his X factor that sets him apart? Is it his IQ? Is it his calmness? Because it seems like there's so many things that are unknown until fight fans really watch him fight to be like, wow, I didn't know he had that.
His X factor, that's a very great question. I like that question. To me, my favorite thing about Lamont as a fighter is his brain. His brain, his IQ in there, his ability to think, his ability to calculate after he dominates on offense to get back on defense, and you can't hit him, but he still can return fire. His leverage and his punches. And I felt that wearing the bodysuit for him. I felt it with the pads with him. So just power and his calculation that he can use with his brain. You know, he's a very intelligent fighter that I don't see in a lot of fighters. Some fighters are just talented. I feel like he's talented and he's very intelligent inside and outside the ring.
You know, lastly, before I let you go, there's 2 other guys from this gym. Since you run the amateur program, you know, all 3 of these guys have great amateur backgrounds, but Lamont's brother Jordan and Ben Johnson, who are going to be making, I guess, their big pay-per-view, debut, because they'll be fighting on the undercard. What makes those 2 guys special? Because we've seen Abdullah Mason at the age of 21 become a champion, and they both faced them in the amateurs, and you know, they're both coming off dominating great performances. Jordan's coming off a sensational knockout, and Ben showed that he has a lot of grit and he can hurt an opponent from start to finish.
So Jordan Roach, he's also one of those fighters, like similar to Lamont, you know, being brothers. Very intelligent inside and outside the ring. I love his footwork. I love his distance control. I like how he can calculate where he can hit you and also not get hit. He's very explosive, and his hand speed. His hand speed is going to mix a lot of fighters in his weight class, and he's a strong 115-pounder. So I feel like this could be a very eye-opener for a lot of fans, and a lot of fans are going to be put on notice with Benjamin Johnson and Jordan Roach. So now to Benjamin Johnson, I remember when I used to box, and Benjamin came in the gym at 10 years old, you know, and he always had this hunger in his eye, you know, that he want to win and he want to dominate and he want to be the best. He carries that at 20 years old, you know, still 10 years later, he still has that same hunger in his eye. You can see the tenacity and explosion when he's hitting that bag, when he's hitting the mitts. You know, he's always just hungry to just dominate. So I really see impactful, high-performance fight between the 2 fighters, Jordan Roach and Benjamin Johnson.
Awesome. Well, right before I let you go, there's probably like 100 or 200 kids that run through this gym. So I know that you have your hands full with all these kids, but really, is there any names that we should be on the lookout that should be hitting the scene at some point where some of the hardcore fans need to be ready and embrace coming on their TV screen?
Yes, we have a fighter, Hassan Jenkins. I'm getting ready to I'm preparing him for his national tournament coming up soon. December 8th is when his tournament starts.
That's in Texas, right?
Yes, Lubbock, Texas. The next week, right after the December 6th fight. So, and also Tyron Moore. He has a unique style where, you know, he can just be able to hit and also not get hit, you know, stick and move, be on notice with Hassan Jenkins and Tyron Moore.
All right, awesome. Well, right before I let you go, where can they follow you on social media, and any last message you want to tell the fans?
Yes, they can follow me on social media at Steve _ the Influencer. Sorry about that. Steve the Influencer. Steve the Influencer. And before we go, no excuse for life.
All right, awesome. We got it right there on the shirt, man. Appreciate it, Coach Steve.
Yep.